Alright guys, we are here for this week's What Sold video. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Heather and I'm a full-time reseller. I'm going to tell you in this video what I sold this past week on Mercari, eBay, and Poshmark. I had no Depop sales. I did make a few sales through Instagram, so I will talk to you about those as well. Really, really good sales week for me. I hit $273 a day profit. So that is where I would love to be. So we'll see. I don't know if it's because it's catching up where I am listing 18 per day. Maybe it just happened to be a good sales week. I don't know. Let me know down below how your sales were this past week. And let's get into our sales. Before we go into the platforms, I will talk about the few sales I made through Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, that information is down below. And if I sound a little sick, it's because I still am. I have congestion in my chest and my nose, and I'm just trying to get better. So anyway, I sold those Adidas Gazelles that you guys saw in the last video. They went very quickly for $55 to Deidre. If you watch this and I'm not saying your name right, I'm so sorry. Heidi bought the Cotopaxi backpack from me for $45. And then Kanani, she's bought a few things from me before. She bought that vintage Western blanket, and then she bought a men's area hoodie. So thank you guys so much. I do post, whenever I'm putting things into my eBay drafts, I post them at a lower price for you guys on my Instagram stories, so you can get first dibs before they go out to the public. So if you ever want to check that out, again, Instagram is down below in the description. We will start with Mercari. No sales on Depop, like I said, a little sad. I've thought about going in to boost my listings. I think that's kind of like a promotion. Let me know if you guys have done that, if you feel like it makes a difference. We sold this Calvin Klein dress for $32, so wanted to try to experiment with the Calvin Klein sheath dresses after one of you guys told me that they do well. This one was in a size 14, and yeah, I listed it for $40. It sold for $32, so I'm pretty happy with that. So maybe this is something I need to be looking into. Next up was this Anthropologie cardigan that sold for $24.30. It was this very lightweight, like loose, open knit, tan kind of cropped cardigan sweater. So that was a pretty good sale. And then I sold these women's On Cloud shoes. These sold for $36.45. These were the nope, they're not the Roger style. That was a men's pair that I sold somewhere else. Anyway, white color, I don't know, On Cloud still sell good for me if they are in good condition, so I would continue looking them up. And then I sold this Halloween vest. So a vintage Halloween vest for $30 in June. It is now June. This is really cool. I love vintage Halloween. It wasn't a size 1X. That possibly could have helped it. But yeah, $30 in that. That is great. So let's go on to Poshmark. We sold these Dansko shoes for $35. These were a pair of tooled leather black professional clogs. I still like picking up Dansko in the style if they are in really good condition, and these ones were. So that was a great sale. Next up, I sold this J. Crew skirt for $25. Some J. Crew still does good for me. I got this one because it was a midi skirt. It wasn't a size large. This pinstripe is kind of popular in the spring and summer, and it was also from summer of 2024. So barely a year old. So that's why I decided to grab that. Next up, I got this Eileen Fisher sweater. I sold this. It sold for $24. This was a large pink organic linen. It was kind of sheer, a little bit of a longer length. Eileen always does great for me. This Bryn Walker top sold again. If this looks familiar, it's because it sold recently. It got returned on eBay, and I relisted it, and it sold right away on Poshmark. This sold for $25. This is a Lag and Look type brand. So Lag and Look is like a layering type look. It's usually more minimalist colors, I feel like, but sometimes it can be more colorful. So you can see I did put that in my title. Oh, I can't breathe. Next up is a pair of Vince pants. These are a size 6. They are a tan wide leg cropped linen blend pants, so that's why I decided to grab those. I don't normally pick up Vince all the time, but since they were linen blend and linen is selling so well right now, that's why I decided to get them. I sold these Democracy jeans for $22. These are still left over when I used to pick up a lot of them. They are a white pair, and they were a pair of size 8, and they were skinny jeans. So, I mean, maybe some of it can still sell. I just had those for a while. This is a men's shoe brand called Origo, maybe. Seems like a barefoot type of shoe. Size 10, black, lightweight shoes. I don't know. I wouldn't say they were a bolo, but I think it could be good to pick up for like a bread and butter sale. Next up is this J. Crew dress that sold for $73. I think I got this from a Style Encore for like $25. It was in a size 2. It was a midi dress. It was very like full skirt, very colorful. It was also new with tags. So really nice sale there. I sold these Levi's shorts for $13. These are a pair of 501s in a size 30. Some people said they can sell them pretty well. They don't seem to be selling amazing for me anymore. So I haven't been picking them up this summer. I sold this Eileen Fisher shirt. Do you guys remember when we were on the video? I think it was on Tuesday when someone sent me a really low offer on this. Guess what? Somebody came in and bought it for full price, so I'm really happy. It wasn't within that same time frame. It was like a couple of days later. Eileen Fisher woman does mean it's plus size. This was in a size 2X. It was a black organic cotton linen blend boxy shirt, $45 in that. I am really happy with that. Next up is a bundle of 2 items for $16. Nation LTD shirt and Isabel Marant size 0 pants. Nation isn't selling good for me anymore, or at least it's not selling fast. If you guys have a different experience, let me know down below in the comments. Here's a Vince item. As I say that I don't pick it up, and then I sell 2 things in a week. Size medium, black, wrap front, pullover. It is a wool cashmere blend. That's why I got that. Vince does have to be a certain type of material for me to pick it up and think that it is worth it. Next up is this Lululemon sports bra. This was in a size 36G, sold for $19 pretty quickly. It was the Run Times bra. Luckily, I had some friends help me find the style name of this because for some reason I could not figure it out. This is really sad. I sold these On Cloud men's shoes for $35. Couldn't find them anywhere. Canceled the order. Right after I canceled it, realized, oh shoot, they were in my women's shoe section. Messaged the person back, I'm going to relist these if you want to purchase them again. I'm really sorry. And he never came back to buy them again. So they are relisted again. Next up are these American Eagle jeans. These are in a size 6 extra long. I just got these for myself, but I didn't super love them. They were the 90s curvy straight. And they sold for $18. So they did have a crossover waist. I don't remember what I paid for them. I mean, I definitely lost money, but I'm glad to get something out of them rather than just donating. Next, a pair of Veja shoes sold for $20. These were in a size 7. They were pretty worn. I couldn't get them clean, so I just sold them cheap for $20. I sold these Mother jeans for $62. I love selling Mother jeans. These ones were in a size 24, so they were really small size, but they were a good style. They were the flare weekender jeans, so the flares, the boot cuts, the wide legs are selling really well right now for denim. Another great Eileen Fisher sale. This was a new with tags tank top that sold really quickly, and that was an eBay offer. Should we check it together? It's $10 on a $14.99. So you know what? I am going to take it because that is not that much off, and that's just a lower sale anyway, so might as well get rid of it. This was a new with tags Eileen Fisher tank top, sold for $60. I just picked this up recently, so really happy. It retailed for $128. That's right around half off, which is kind of where I expect to sell a lot of my new Eileen. Next up is the brand Marith Gerbaud Francois, maybe. These are a pair of women's jeans in a size 12 that I've had for a really long time, and they sold for $10. I think I could have got better pictures with those if I would have known how to adjust my contrast with my black. And there comes that sale. Next up is a pair of Ariat women's pants. I had 2 pairs of these. I already sold one. These ones sold for $29. They are a pair of like fire or flame resistant canvas type work pants. So $29 on those is a great sale. Next up was this Harley Davidson tank top that I sold for $20. I got a bunch of Harley stuff for $1 each at some garage sales recently. This one was in a size small. It was extremely distressed and destroyed with like these holes all over it, but I feel like that was a look that some bikers would like. Next up was a pair of women's Brooks shoes that sold for $27. These were all white. They were in a size 9 and they were extra wide. So extra wide, you do want to put that in your title and keyword. Some people really do need to be looking for that for their footwear. So it is something that could make it maybe worth a little bit more. Next up was this Tory Burch purse that sold for $99. I'm really happy with this. I think I paid $35 for this at a garage sale. The Parker tote, really, really nice condition. Very pretty. I really like selling Tory Burch handbags. I sold this Skady swimsuit for $36. I got quite a few of these Skady swimsuits at a local thrift world recently, new with tags. This one was in a size extra small So happy with that. I sold this Eddie Bauer dress for $30. This is a new with tags, size medium, blue sleeveless printed dress. Did retail for $60, so half off. Again, pretty happy with that. Next up is a pair of Cynthia Rowley pants. I was testing these since they were linen and they were plus size. They did sell for $18. Let me know if you guys sell Cynthia Rowley at all. Just a linen blend, but still pretty good sale for like a brand that's not that popular. I sold these Croc sandals for $25. This exact style sells really well for me. It's called the Sandra style. It has this like ring type detail at the top of the sandal. These ones sold for $25. Someone was messaging me on eBay trying to offer me $20, saying that's the lowest I will go for used sandals. But I knew they were worth more. I just sold the black pair, I think, for $35. So I said $25. I would do $25 at the minimum. She never came back to buy them, but someone else did on Poshmark. Next up was a vintage Y2K top. This is a style-based top that I sold for $20. Blue, kind of sheer, had this twist front detail. The brand was just Johnny Heaven. Obviously does not make a difference. So I am happy to be selling things without being branded. Next up was an Anthropologie Maeve top that I sold for $20. This was really cute. Size extra small, blue floral stripe top. $20 on an Anthropologie is fine with me. It's nothing special. Next up was this Skady swimsuit bottom. This one sold for $16. Brown leopard bikini bottom. Yeah, not much really to see there. I sold these Athleta pants for $12. These were a plus size pair of size 20. They were the Trekkie jogger pants, and they sat for quite a while. They did have a little bit of pilling that I couldn't get off, and they sold for $12. I sold these Judy Blue shorts for $18. My shorts are selling from Judy Blue anywhere from $18 to $25. I like to get them in larger sizes. These ones were in a size 1X. They were a cutoff, kind of an ombre style there at the bottom, and that was a pretty decent sale. I sold this women's Patagonia jacket for $22. This was in a size medium. It was just their classic kind of like fleecy type snap jacket. These don't do as well as they used to anymore, at least not in some of these basic colors. Certain prints and styles can still go for more. Next up is the brand Bevy Flog. These haven't been selling for that much for me lately, so let me know if you guys have a different experience. These ones are in a size 30. They were a green mid-rise skinny pants. Yeah, only $16, and they did sit for a bit, so I need to be kind of thinking about that brand. Next up was an Anthropologie dress that I sold for $50. This was in a size 26, so it was an Anthropologie plus size. Watercolor, kind of midi chiffon type dress, and it was new with tags. So $50 on that. I'm pretty happy. I sold this Eileen Fisher jacket for $35. This is a wool heavier type like jacket or shirt that I sold in June, so definitely happy with that. Size medium too, a little bit of a smaller size, but since it had such good fabric content, that's why I still went ahead and grabbed it. Next up are these men's Bird Dogs shorts. They sold for $18. In a size large, they did have some pilling and some little snags that I couldn't really take care of, so I decided to just sell them myself instead of giving them to my brother. Next up was a brand Tuckernuck, but actually it was made at Tuckernuck or sold there, but the actual brand is Pomander Place. This sold really fast. This was a blue and white striped mini dress, and it sold for $45. So I was really happy with that. That's the first time I've ever tried the brand. I sold this Patagonia jacket for $20. This was a women's size medium. Again, kind of that fleecy. This one was a full zip. And yeah, $20. Next up are a pair of Prana pants that I sold for $17. These were in a size 12. They were the Hallie hiking pants. That style does pretty decent for me. Not going to give me a ton of money, but during hiking season, I can usually sell it pretty well. Next up was a J. Crew top that sold for $8. This was made with the Liberty fabric, which used to be a bolo. Don't think it is anymore. It will literally say made with Liberty fabrics right there. It has a certain look for it. So I'm happy to move that old item. I sold some Nike shoes for $11. These ones were a pair of neutral cream, like they're called the Internationalist shoes. I think I could have got more for these, but sometimes when I'm making low sales, I accept a lot of offers. But sometimes when I'm making a lot of sales, I do too, because I'm just like, let me just keep accepting things, and maybe I'll keep the algorithm on my side. This was a Garnet Hill dress, sold for $27 in a size 10. I grabbed this because it was linen. So nice fabric content. Linen is selling so good right now, even in brands that aren't great. Next up was this Sundance pair of boots. These sold for $100. Really happy with these. Very pretty, size 36, tall, suede cutout boots. So definitely pick these up if you see them. And they look like they've barely been worn. Another amazing sale was this Revelry dress. I found this at the Poshmark, at the Goodwill for $15. Never heard of the brand. Comps and sell-through rate actually, well, some of the comps were good. Sell-through rate wasn't great, but I decided to try it. I just felt like I could keyword it good, and I could still sell it for a good amount, and I did. It sold for $93. So I would say that would be a Bolo brand. That's my first time I've ever sold it. Next up are a pair of Allegria shoes that sold for $23. These were the Kelly style. They had like this bamboo type print on them. Leather, like patent kind of leather, slip-on shoes. And then my last Poshmark sale were these pair of Spanx pants that sold for $28. These were really, really soft. And they were a wide leg, so that's why I decided to grab them. They were a size medium. And they were missing the drawstring, and they still sold for $28. So this style is obviously very popular. People really want this. So yay for that. We are going to go onto eBay, but before we do, update on my son Ryan. If you guys have been following along and praying for him. If you haven't been praying for him, first of all, thank you. That means a lot to me. He does have to have surgery. Apparently he tore his ACL. Very sad. They called me yesterday and left a voicemail, and I didn't answer it, which I'm sad about because I wanted to ask them questions in person. Called the number back. This lady sounded clueless. She's like, they'll call you back about planning the surgery, and they didn't call me all day yesterday. So I guess we'll see today. We are still going to try to delay the surgery like they told us that we could until after his mission trip. So I'm going to confirm that whenever they do give me a call. Obviously not the outcome we were hoping for, but he'll be okay. He's got a good attitude about it. He'll have to be off work for a little bit. I mean, the timing is not horrible. Like, it's going to suck for him for the summer, but he's done with school. His work's going to let him take it off. He's not working full time right now. So it's just like, I don't know. But I'm still kind of sad for him. But I was just like, before that, I was like, oh, I was thinking kind of positive because he was literally like, just walking around almost normal. Like, but I'm just like, ugh, but he still can't bend it normal and everything. So most likely that'll be mid-July. That's when he gets back from his trip. We'll see. I will keep you updated when that happens so that you could be praying for him for his recovery and all of that. But yeah, that's the update on Ryan. Kind of sad news. Let's go on to eBay. Okay. eBay orders. Let's go paid and shipped. Okay. I'm going to try. I went to garage sales yesterday and it was really good. That video is coming out tomorrow, so make sure you guys come back for that. And I think I'm going to go more today in my neighborhood here in Council Bluffs. Okay. We sold these MZDL shoes. I don't know what this brand is. I got them for style. They were a Mary Jane black leather style. Sold them for $35. I did use goth, schoolgirl, Mary Jane, leather, punk, and academia in my keywords. Lots of keywords that you can be putting in your titles to make things sell. Make sure you're not putting in words that don't matter that people aren't searching for. Next up was this vintage Victoria's Secret nightie that sold for $19.60 with a 15% off coupon. I decided to try this out. It did okay. It only sold, yeah, like I said, $19.60. Next up was the mountain shirt for $22. I got a few of these in a size 3X. I kind of wanted to get more for this, but like I said, I was accepting offers. And this eagle shirt is amazing. Some guy is going to be proudly supporting our country with this amazing shirt. I sold these mother jeans for $31.49. These were in a size 30. They were a pair of dark wash jeans, and they were skinny. They were the looker style, which if you guys know, those are a skinny pair of jeans. So really happy with that. Next up was a pair of Skims leggings that sold for $15. They were in a size small. Skims doesn't do amazing, so I decided to go ahead and sell those. You know what? Time out. I need to text my youth pastor really quick. I'm supposed to be running a garage sale tomorrow for the mission team. And we're going to hope it doesn't rain, first of all. But anyway, I told him I'm not going to come to Omaha today, but I think I might be. So I'm just going to multitask really quick and text him. I hope you guys don't care. If you do, just, it's not a big deal. Hey, sorry again, but I will actually be in Omaha this afternoon, so I can stop by. Okay. Majestic Filatures sweatshirt. $28. This was really heavyweight, and it was alpaca hooded sweater. This sold, oh yeah, like I said, $28. Next up was the brand All That Jazz. This was a vintage dress that sold for $21.35. It was a linen blend on the top, size 3-4, kind of 90s style. That sat for a little bit, but it did okay. This Eileen shirt sold really fast for $29. This was in a size 2X. It was an orange tunic, kind of stretched, relaxed style. No special fabric. Next up was this vintage Y2K tank top that sold for $25. So again, style-based here. It's got the lace, floral, green, kind of chiffon-y looking. So that was a really good sale. Sorry, I had a hiccup if you're just listening. Next up, another Harley Davidson tank top. This one sold for $24.99 with a coupon. This was a collared size medium shirt, and it had like this bling on the back. So since the back had more details in the front, that's why I decided to use that for my front cover photo. I sold these men's Keen sandals for $24 or $25. Size 14, brown leather closed toe waterproof sandals. These are selling really well right now, this particular style. This Johnny Was top sold for $103. Very happy about that. I did pay up for this. I think I paid $30 for this. Size extra large, blue silk printed top. These sell so good, and Johnny Was is selling so good for me right now. So if you see it, pick it up. I sold this Skaty bikini top for $29.99 with a coupon, but I accidentally already sold this blue one. So she did trade it out for a brown leopard one that I had. So thankfully the buyer was understanding. Next up was a pair of Lululemon pants that sold for $21.60 with a coupon, size 2. These were the ready to fleece joggers. Nothing special, just a bread and butter Lululemon sale. Next up was this Joseph Ribkoff jacket in a size 8 that sold for $25. Got this because of the colorful kind of look of it and artsy. I think that does better than just their like basic colors. Next up was a polo Ralph Lauren sweater that sold for $10. This had multiple stains that I did not realize, and I could not get them out. So I sold it really cheap and made a couple of dollars. I sold this Diane von Furstenberg dress for $60. I was really happy with this. I think I paid $10 for this. Size small, blue midi ruched bodycon dress, nylon. This is the fastest I've ever sold a Diane von Furstenberg, I think, so I'm really happy with that. Next up was this Ming Wang cardigan that sold for $30. I don't normally get this in a size medium, but I feel like I really like the colors in this. The color block is very bright, so I did decide to go ahead and get that. These Nike shoes sold for $84.99 with a coupon. Really happy about these. I paid $20 for these at a garage sale. These were in a size 7.5. They're the Orange Air Super Zoom Super Rep. Yeah, amazing sale there. Very happy. Merrell shoes for $20. These were a pair of size 7 purple outdoor hiking shoes. This is pretty typical for that style, $20 to $25. Next up is the brand True Craft. Would not recommend looking for this brand. I got this as an experiment. Sold for $25 with a coupon. I got it because it was new with tags, because it was plus size, and because it was a linen blend. And I guess my gut was right because it sold. I mean, that's kind of crazy to me. Next up was this Norma Kamali top that sold for $15. Striped, long sleeve, gray and white cotton button-up top. I sold this Quince blazer pretty quickly for $39.99 with a coupon. Quince is still selling really quickly for me. It was 100% organic cotton, a brown knit blazer. Next up were these Brooks shoes that sold for $25. These were in a women's size 8.5. They were the Ghost 13. These ones did have a decent amount of wear, so that's why they sold for less. I sold these men's Lululemon Intent joggers for only $16. I have had these for a while. And I don't know, somebody sent me an offer. They were priced a little over $20, and it was like, so what? You can have them for $16. Have a great deal. Have a great day. Neiman Marcus sweater sold for $30. This was a cashmere sweater in a size small. That's why I decided to get it 100% cashmere. So I'm happy with that. I sold this Lululemon Align tank top for $24.99 with a coupon. This sold extremely quickly. It was in a size 4, and it was just a black cropped tank top. Next up are the brand American Giant. These are a pair of women's joggers that sold for $19 in a size extra large. I don't always get this brand, but I decided to try these out since they were in a larger size. Another Johnny Was top. This one sold for $69.99 with a coupon. Size extra large. Not their typical look, I feel like. Not as bright, but definitely still really colorful. And I like the larger size. That does seem to help. Soft Surroundings top, 2X, sold for $20 pretty quickly. Just a V-neck layered type of white top. It did have a tiny hole in the shoulder, and guess what that was from? Because I was stupid and I ripped out the price tag and I didn't cut it. So that was my fault. Here's a vintage skirt that I sold for $30. A vintage Old Navy skirt at that. $30 with a coupon. It was a 90s Y2K, so I guess this is a good style we should be looking for. It's kind of a longer length. It's got the really small, tiny floral print. It's got this lettuce hem at the bottom. Here's the tag. So I am really happy with that I could sell Old Navy. Next up are a pair of Dansko sandals that sold for $34.20. These ones were called the Savannah sandals, leather, strappy. This style does well for me with Danskos. Next up, I sold this J. Jill shirt for $25. This was in a plus size and a size 3X, and it was new with tags. Just a classic white shirt. Decided to get it since it was new and it was plus size. A pair of mother jeans that sold for $67. These were the Tomcat Hover. Amazing sale. I love selling mother jeans in a size 29. Look for the M's on the back pockets. Another Quince item that sold really fast. $34.99 with a coupon. This was a new with tags white linen short sleeve top. Very happy with that. Vintage skirt, another one. This one sold for $27.99. So this kind of dark floral look seems to be selling good too. This one was a midi length and it was a plus size. It was actually from Dress Barn, but I did not even put that in the title because I don't think that mattered. I sold that on style. Brunello Cucinelli tank top, $100 with a coupon. Amazing. I actually found this one at a Goodwill for like freaking $3, which was nuts. It was a 96% silk tank top. Love. J. Crew top, $21. This was in a size extra large. Blue, I just thought it was really cute. It was pretty recent in the past 2 years, so I went ahead and grabbed that. This Eileen Fisher dress sold really fast for $35. This was in a size extra large. It was silk, black printed, kind of polka dot, sleeveless dress. This Figs jacket also sold really fast. It's been a bit since I sold Figs, but I decided to try out this jacket. It was the Sarda quarter zip jacket. So maybe these do better than like the scrubs. Let me know if you guys have any experience with this style. Next up is a pair of American Eagle shorts that sold for $11. I got these for myself to try, but I feel like I looked too much like I was trying too hard as a 44-year-old woman, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be the lady that the kids are looking at and being like, ugh, like you need to not do that. So I just sold them. If they were longer, I think I would have liked them. Next up, a Nicole Taylor top sold for $25. I've never heard of this, but I got it because of the butterfly print, and it was 100% silk. This is getting returned. It's an Anthropologie top. She said it was too small. Maybe she didn't check measurements, or maybe she did and she just didn't like it. Who knows? This sold really fast. Eileen Fisher sweater, $35 with a coupon. Brown Tencel minimalist type sweater or in a size extra large. This Free People dress sold for $29.40 with a coupon. This was a size small. It was new with tags. It was sheer. Intimately Free People. So glad for that. These these overalls sold great. They were Duluth trading, $45 with a coupon. I like selling Duluth overalls, I've learned, and I don't know why some of my pictures are turning out tiny like that. Anyway, I would be on the lookout for Duluth trading overalls. Another great sale. These are a pair of Carolina boots. These are men's 9.5. These sold for $69.99. I don't think I just paid a normal price for these at a Goodwill, or maybe it was a garage sale. I don't know, but that's such a good sale. I sold these at Goldie shorts for $28. These were the Parker shorts in a size 27. I've had people tell me they're not being able to move a Goldie shorts. I don't know. Keep trying. Make sure you're not pricing them too high. Make sure you got good keywords, good pictures. Here's the other pair of Sanra sandals. So these were the Crocs Sanra. These ones sold for $34.99 with a coupon. Again, they got that ring in the middle. Sometimes the ring part or like that circle part is different. But it's that style with the two straps and like the circle on the top. So I would be on the lookout for that. Let me see if we have any others from May 30th here on my second page. Okay, a J. Crew size 2 schoolboy blazer sold for $25. This was navy blue with the gold buttons. I love selling the schoolboy blazer, even if it's an older one. A pair of Spanx pants sold for $15. These were the jean-ish leggings, which don't sell that great for me anymore. Even though they're in a plus size, that skinny style just doesn't do good for me, so I would not pick those up. And that's it, guys. That's it for my sales. Let me tell you my numbers. Hey, I remembered while I was on my computer. Aren't you guys proud of me? Okay, these are numbers. People always ask me, so I'll just say it. I've already taken out my fees, and I've already taken out my cost of goods. So these numbers that I tell you is pure profit, what's going into my bank account, what I'm making. From those Instagram sales that I had this week, I made $92.02. So thank you so much. Again, those kind of sales where you guys can pay through Venmo. And I just accidentally made some spit go on my screen. I'm so professional, aren't I? I'm not. I'm really not. Okay. Let me get my life together. Thank you guys so much who buy that stuff from me. I really appreciate that because they don't take out fees. Plus, it just feels good because I feel like you're just supporting my small business a little more personally. But if you buy from me on platforms, that's great too. Anyway, Mercari, $64.11. eBay, $901.21. Poshmark, $854.22. That's the highest they've been in forever. Profit this week was $1,911.56. I made $273.08 per day. Amazing, because I just made some big purchases this week. I bought tickets for Universal Halloween Horror Nights and express passes for our family that's going, plus my nephew and my brother-in-law. He's going to come too. We found out for fun. So he's going to pay me back for his stuff, but that was a really big purchase I had this week. I also paid my quarterly taxes. That sucks. So huge things coming out of my bank account this week. So really happy. Praise God for a good sales week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go to garage sales. Come back tomorrow to see what I found, and then come back Sunday to see what I found again. See you guys soon. Bye.